Alright everyone, I got a 1984 Honda Aero 125 that's been off the road since 94. I got it from the original owner. It's actually in really good shape. It's got 2,300 miles on it. And doing a little research, I didn't know what I was buying till I bought it, but apparently this was the one and only year of the 125 two-stroke engine offered in these. And the gas cap was sitting in fuel for so long that it just started to deteriorate, and bought another gas cap so you can see the difference. Like I said, there's still about 3/4 of fuel in there, and there's nothing leaking, so I'm hoping that I can save that tank. Came with all the original paperwork. So plan is to get this back on the road. Never worked on a scooter before, so this is going to be a new one for me. So let's get started. Start by taking the seat off. Flashlight, where'd you go? Try to pop this off. Take the covers off or not. Okay, that's a start. Man, look at that. That was easy. Still need to know how to take this thing off though. Oh, there's 2 screws. There's the looks like 8 mils on each side. Let's see if this one comes off now. Yeah, just there's slots there. I don't want to break that. Go. All right. I don't know if you've seen that, but there's little grommets up here, and they just slide into or pop into these. Same on the other side. Hopefully, and then I got to take these little 8 mil bolts off, and this hopefully should come off. Oh, we're attached to the brake or turn signals. That's not cool. I don't think this thing's ever been taken apart either. So I'm going to take this one, those 2 off, and then I guess this one. That's a lot to remove just to do simple things, but it's a scooter, so get these off here before I drop them and break them. It's the last thing I want to do is break these things. Put this back in so I don't contaminate it. Okay. Let's take these tins off. Oh man, just broke that tab. That'd be all right. Oh, there's one right there. Oh, pull the key switch off. Hopefully I can pop that out. Hopefully I can get that back in. Let's pull this off, see what we're working with. I imagine this thing is terrible. Well, oh yeah, to be expected. Looking at this, I don't know if there's a filter behind it or not. I don't know. Let's just pull it off. Okay. Actually, let's see here. Okay, well, hopefully I can use some of my filter material and make one of those. But that's actually better than I thought. I did notice when I was messing with this that the slide was stuck, so hopefully I can get this off without pulling the whole assembly, because that'll be a pain in the butt. Mess with that here in a minute. So guess there's no real adjustment for that, because that just has a lock right there, a little tab. So it is hot out here, buddy, and it's warm. When I first got it, I did hook the power and just make sure it cranked over for a split second. So I'm gonna try this little heat gun I have. Get it warm and just there it goes. Hope so. That or the cable snapped. I can't see. So you look in there, keep dropping stuff. You look in there, it's moving now. So that's a relief. Not sure if it was a combination of the heat and the oil or heat or what, I don't know. There it is. Just a little bit right there on the needle, and it's always this slider here, just always causes problems when these things sit for a while. All right, let's pull this carburetor off. That all comes off. I have no idea. But we'll know once we get all this loose. I'm just going to cut these lines since they're all rock hard. Well, just the one going to this. This is your fuel line. And this is for your little vacuum pump style petcock. And this one down here is actually for your oil injection. So, and that's actually still in decent shape. But I don't have to mess with that just yet. So, unless I can just pull it off from the base. Let's try heating it up. Oh, why am I touching that one, dummy? No. Oh, that'll work. Okay, there's a vent over here. Fuel line, carburetor's off. Okay, all right. Let's see what this is. Can't tell if those are actually soldered in or not. I don't break that. Come on now. Well, there goes that boot. Just because I got a little ahead of myself. That's all one piece. So let's see here. Looks to be all one piece. So how do you get? You just unthread it there. Let's try that. Okay. All right. That was easy enough. Minus ripping this little boot here. Didn't even need to take that off. That definitely bums me out. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up. All I had to do was loosen that. Well, now we know. Take this off. All right, carburetor's off. I'm not going to do a video on cleaning this carburetor. I'll actually do a deep clean on this in a separate video that I'll post either before or after, most likely after. So let's get this cleaned up and we'll get back on the bike. Well, the 30-year-old gas spilled out of the bucket when I was trying to empty it out, and then I was trying to rinse some of the chunks out. So the shop's gonna smell like 30-year-old gas for a while. Great. All right, this is what 30-year-old gas does to a gas tank for sitting for so long. I mean, all that scaling rust, just, I mean, if you could smell this thing was up to about right here. The rest is on the floor, and man, it smells in here. Had to open all the doors. So this is the inside of the tank after, see if I can get in there or not. Okay, this is the tank. Not terrible, but after I let it soak in evapor rust for a few days, Hopefully a lot of that stuff comes out and then I don't find any mysterious holes that pop up that the evapor rust ate through. But we'll see what happens. Carburetor's on. I got the air vacuum plugged up for the petcock. I got the spot for the oil injection plugged up. This is just a toothpick with some grease on it because I didn't have a plug to fit. Here's the oil line here. I'm gonna have that unhooked and watch it while it's running, see if I actually have oil pumping out. Redid the air filter, just use universal air filter material. I have a video on my page if you want to watch that. Got the fuel hooked up, got a new battery on, and I still have the gas tank soaking in the evapor rust. I have the towels down just in case it wants to leak, but after about 3-4 hours, it hasn't done anything yet. And I'm gonna let this sit for a few days because it was pretty bad inside there. And I still need to get a fuel sending unit, but for right now, I'm just gonna leave it like it is. All right, let's fire this thing up. Good thing about this bike is I don't have to kick it 9 billion times to see if it'll start. It has electric start. And it's, I'm not sure if it's the handbrake or the foot brake. I'm pretty sure it's the foot brake. Oil light came on. And it should go, and it went off. That's a good thing. Let's press that. Nope, I have to do the foot brake. Let's see. Might help to turn the fuel on. Getting ahead of myself. I'm just really anxious to see this thing run. Turn the key off, let that fill the bowl. Make sure I ain't got no leaks. Man, I can't believe I did that. And while I'm thinking about it, I will check and loosen the drain on the bowl. Get fuel out. Yep, get fuel out. Okay. It's not leaking. All right, now let's try to start it. Man, I can't believe I did that. Man, that thing's loud. Let's tighten this up a little bit. Man, I can't. The brake light works. Go. Kind of uneventful. High beam works. Not really smoking that much. Let's test the low beam. Yeah, low beam works. I have the rear turn signal's off. Let's see if the front ones come on. Well, it lights up. Yeah? Okay. Let's see if we got a horn. Oh, God, that's loud. Check that oil injection. Yep. See what happens when I get a little gas. Well, it runs, and dummy me forgot to turn the fuel on, but it is what it is. And it ran a lot better once I put the air cover on, air box cover on. I'm going to replace the spark plug. I'm going to replace the drive oil here. It's 10W40. I'm not sure how much. It don't take a lot. I just wanted to run everything through probably and break all that stuff up if there's any gunk built up in there. And I'm going to clean it up, put everything back together, and then wait for Evaporust to do its thing. What you want to do is the drain's right here. You drain it all out, then you put the drain back in, and then once the oil didn't have the proper funnel, but I used this old gear bottle with the little tip on it, and I just used 10W40. Once it stops draining, then I know that it's full. Pretty much done at that point. That's it. Okay, the tank turned out pretty nice. It still has little pieces in there. Try to get most of the chunks that'll come off out. The issue is once I drained it, there's a hole here and there's a hole here, and I'm going to try to braze that back together. Everything else is fine. The bottom side of the tank is actually in really good shape. So surprisingly, I never had it rust from the top and not the bottom. But other than that, it's in really good shape. So I'm going to clean all this up and try to braze this back together. And if I can't, then I'll just use some JB Weld. Well, that backfired. I was able to braze this, but another spot came up. It's just really thin right there, like right here. So I was just gonna put epoxy, and same with here, the line here, and then the metal started to warp a little bit. I was trying to adjust my heat, and I just got it too hot, and then it started to split right here, and then this right here was one I didn't see in the video, and it opened up when I add a little heat to it. So not what I wanted to do, but it'll work. I'm going to sand it down, and then I'll put a little coat of paint over this, and it'll be fine. All right, it's back together, and I didn't want to bore y'all with putting everything back together, so it's pretty straightforward. The tank, after I put a little sandpaper to it, to the spots I could get to, and then I just fogged it with some black spray paint. Turned out pretty decent. It's not great, but it'll work. The fuel level sending unit, I got to use one off eBay because the original one was just trashed. It was all rotted out. I checked it with the ohm meter, and when I would move the lever back and forth, it worked just fine. The numbers would change, the ohms would change. So I was like, okay, it's fine. No, the gauge is still reading empty, and it's half a tank of fuel. So I'll have to fix that or look into that. I doubt it's the gauge cluster. But since I have fuel in it, I haven't had any leaks anywhere. So And these old tires, about 30 something years old, are not in terrible shape. They're not great. But I don't advise this, but I am going to ride this thing on these old tires because I'm just ready to ride it. Because my sketchy meter isn't really going off, so I think I'll be just fine for the speed limits that this thing can do. So we'll get this thing put back together. Scooter's put back together. And I must say it turned out really nice. Considering how long it's been sitting, I wasn't sure if there's going to be scratches or not. Minus getting tires put on, which those are ordered. They should come in hopefully next week. But the only thing left to do is ride. So I want to thank y'all for watching. And if you want to stay tuned, I'll put a video of me riding this thing at the end.